you need to be very, very careful on what you consume, to what you watch and to what you listen to. Your attention is being stolen on purpose and your mind is being manipulated. Now, mental health is a sticky one. When it comes to depression, I'm someone who believes that it's more of a state, a temporary state and not a permanent state. And if you are going through a state of depression, it just basically means that there's something in your life that needs to be changed, or something about yourself that needs to be changed. It's your body telling you something. Now, I don't believe that depression is because of a lack of dopamine. I don't believe in that BS. Now, many people go through states of anxiousness, depression, and just these sort of feelings, and they don't understand why. They don't analyze themselves and understand why they are feeling these things. They accept what is instead of what they need to change. And it's become so normalized in our generation to just accept your feelings in a way. Now, of course, this is my opinion. This is what works for me. So let me know in the comments below what you think and what your opinions are. I believe that the reason they go through anxiousness and depression is because of two things. Number one is what they listen to, and number two is what they watch. Now, let's talk about music. Number one, music is sort of hypnotic. Now, depending on how fast the music is or how slow it is, it can determine how you feel inside. Now, Tai Lopez talks about this, and I'll give you an example. When you go to a club in Las Vegas or somewhere, they base their music on how people go in and out from the bars. So now, when it's a high tempo music or high beats per minute, people flock to the dance floor, they start dancing. And when they go to low beats per minute or lower beat per minute, that's when they go to the bar. And so they use these type of tempo musics to manipulate how people go to and from the bar. And for the DJ, their performance is not how many people they bring to the dance floor, but more so on how much drinks they can sell. So if they don't sell enough drinks, then they get the sack. Now, it does sound a bit crazy, but how does this affect you and your anxiousness and your depression? Now, music is a strong way to affect someone's mood. So if you maybe went through a breakup or you're just feeling quite down, a lot of people, they listen to negative music, which means they listen to sad music, which aligns with their mood. But what happens is it kind of keeps them in this rut and reinforces that negative energy that they're having. So they get into a further depression or further sadness or a state of sadness. And this goes for the same for degenerate music, especially when you listen to artists, especially the rap artists. Now, I'm not saying they're bad music, it's good music, you know, I do listen to it myself, but I'm aware of what it does to my brain. When you listen to degenerate music, you start having degenerate thoughts, and so you start to act like them. In reality, that's probably not who you are, but it manipulates into creating who you want to be. So in essence, when you listen to music, you're essentially brainwashing yourself, and you need to become aware of what you're listening to and how it affects your mood. A lot of people just live life on autopilot, not understanding what goes into their brain and the music they listen to. They don't understand these effects. Music also has a tendency to pull you out of reality. So you see this a lot with people listen to music on the street when they're walking. If you notice and you actually see them, they're in their own heads and they tend not to make eye contact with anyone. And so they become a bit socially anxious. I'm sure you've seen this many times. As they're walking, they're literally streamlined visions. They're not understanding their surroundings and not aware of their surroundings. The music is kind of hypnotic. It's pulling them out of the reality that they're in. Now, in many cases, this can be bad because when you're not aware of reality and you're not aligned with reality, you start to do things which can damage your future and damage your soul, essentially. Now, there are ways to manipulate this to making this into your advantage, but I'll talk about that later on in the video. Now, the second reason why I think many people in my generation are anxious and depressed is because of social media. Now, this is a big one. I'm a firm believer of you are what you consume, right? It's similar to you are what you eat, you are what you consume. The information that you put into your brain, kind of mumble-jumbles your brain up, and then that's how you act according towards it. The question is, are you watching a bunch of garbage on social media? Are you scrolling through TikTok watching naked women constantly over and over and over repeat? Because these things really affect your brain. Essentially, if you're watching anything that has no impact on your life, your finances, your relationships, your future goals, you just need to delete it. You need to stop associating with it because it has no benefit or impact to your life. And so a lot of people, they follow, let's just say, influencers or these big social media stars, and they talk about them with their friends and maybe the spouses. There's no benefit of you talking about them when they don't even know you as a person. You haven't built your name for yourself. You haven't built anything for yourself. And instead you talk about other people and their accomplishments and what they've been doing. A lot of people are doing this and it's just sad. To me, it's just sad. Especially when you have accomplished nothing in life. And the way you create convos and have conversations with strangers especially, it's just talking about other people's achievements. Now this works the same for the news. The news doesn't really have your best interest in mind, and let's be honest, we've seen this in the past couple of years. It's been a total mess right now. But they keep you anxious, they keep you a bit nervous on the world's politics, all the wars that's going around the world. Realistically, it has no direct impact to you. Yes, you can help out people in war-torn countries and that's perfectly fine. But when it comes to this climate change stuff and all these type of things, it just does not impact you or your household or the four walls you live in, or even in the country. So you need to stop worrying and focus on yourself and your own life. Get your shit together before you start helping other people out. And the way the people in power stop you from working on yourself and proceeding through life is keeping you distracted on other things, other world politics. And you need to be aware of this. Now, of course, music, social media, it's not something we can escape. It's on our phones, we do this all the time. Yeah, you can delete your social media, but especially when you're using it to produce, it's fine. To consume, not so much. So what do you do essentially? Because you can't really just go out to the woods or go to Mars. But let's be realistic. There are some things you can do and some things you should avoid. The first one is you need to stop listening to music 24/7. A lot of time, especially for creativity, understanding your life, understanding your goals, what you want in life, you need to just sit down and just be quiet and let your mind think. Just think about your past, think about the future, the present. You need to let your mind wander. Now, many people call this meditation, right? I don't really like meditation, but I like to drink my tea and just think about life. That's kind of my meditation. Just sitting there and closing my eyes, I don't like that. But essentially, the essence of what I'm talking about is just sit down and just think 20 to 30 minutes a day. Just let your mind think, let it wander, see where it goes, and whatever comes up into your head, something important, jot it down. That's as simple as. Now, the reason you do this is because it becomes therapeutic and it helps to understand self. So many people need to be constantly stimulated, and because they don't let their minds wander and think, it stops that creative aspect in their brain. It stops that creativity pathway. And so in doing so, they don't know what they want in life, or maybe they're stuck in a project essentially. Now, what you can also do is listen to music which benefits you in certain situations, right? I'll give you an example. So you're in the gym, you're about to hit a PR. What type of music would you listen to get you in an uplifting mood? Maybe some EDM, some punk rock, some hype music essentially, so you can get you more aggressive. Similarly, maybe before a game, a football game or a fight or a basketball game, you need music to get you in the right state of mind, to get you a bit more hyped and a bit more aggressive. This is what I mean by manipulating music to your advantage. So you can see that you're conscious of how it affects your brains, but you're using it in certain situations to benefit you. Or maybe you're going for a drive and instead of just cranking up music, you listen to a podcast, which is informative. Now, when it comes to social media, and specifically short form content, right? You need to start deleting all the random women, the pranks, the garbage shit which has no impact on your life and just keeps you distracted. Cultivate your algorithm to start doing motivational videos. Start providing informative videos on a given skill, an industry, something that can help you out in long terms. Instagram models, you need to get rid of them. They don't care about you, they don't know you. You're just benefiting them, but they're not benefiting you. It's just it's a one-way system, all right? And this is what I mean. If you follow these type of people, you're basically a simp. You're a bitch. So remember, use what you have and use the technology given to you to push you and benefit you in a certain way. Instead of using it in the likes of others, use it towards the likes of you. How does it benefit you at the end of the day? That is a key question. They want to keep you distracted. They want to keep you in NPC. So that way you don't understand what you want in life and you don't see the bigger picture of how the world works. They don't want you to see this, okay? So if you're watching random shit on your phone and you're listening to depressing music, you're an NPC. You live your life on autopilot, succumbing to what you consume. By controlling these two things, music and social media, and using it to benefit you in certain ways, it can relieve a lot of depression and anxiety. But this is what our generation is just not doing from what I'm seeing. And instead, when they feel depressed, they are asked to listen to their feelings, listen to their emotions, and especially as a guy, this is the last thing you should do. That's not what you're supposed to do. Whatever controls your brain controls you, and this doesn't allow you to think freely. And if you can't think freely, good luck achieving anything in life.